I'm gonna get some flack for saying this. Welcome back to Intentional Wealth. My name is Sylvan J. Rahman. In today's video, we're going to be talking about should you be buying a home during this recession, and if you do, what to expect. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon so you're notified every time we release new content. With interest rates dropping for the 5th time since March in the last week, is this the right time in the current housing market to buy a home? First, let's talk about what you can expect as a home buyer. But before we get into that, comment down below and let me know what you think. Is this the right time to buy a home, and why? As a potential home buyer in this current housing market, there are a few things that you need to expect. The first one is the one that everybody is talking about, and that's mortgage interest rates. It's true that interest rates have dropped for the 5th time since March in the last week. They've gone down from an average of 3.15% to 3.07% for a 30-year mortgage. Well, what does that mean for your mortgage payment? Well, for your mortgage payment on a $300,000 loan, it's less than a $20 difference, which isn't much. But over the 30-year term, you're talking about an interest savings of $4,700. The second thing that you need to be aware of is the approval and closing process on some of these mortgages. Because standards are tightening, the approval process is much more difficult. Some of these mortgages that used to take a 640 credit score now take a 700 credit score. And if you're lucky enough to get even approved for a mortgage, you might not be able to close because some of these lending institutions are having a hard time closing because standards are changing on a daily basis. The third thing you can expect is you're probably going to get into a bidding war. And a bidding war is never a good thing because that means you're going to bid on a property against other potential home buyers, meaning that you're either going to pay more than the asking price for the property or you're going to pay more than your lowest offer, which is never a good thing. Is this the right time to buy a home in the market we're in? Honestly, I don't think so. I might get some flack for saying this, but I do think that we're seeing home values overinflated right now. Not just from the regular short supply and high demand that we seem to be having, but also because of the higher demand created by record low interest rates. Now I get it. A 0.08% interest rate drop leads to almost $5,000 savings on a $300,000 mortgage over a 30-year period, but that's not a big enough difference in savings for me to get all excited and go get a mortgage and buy a home. No!
No! God, please, no!
In fact, if these predictions made by some of these real estate companies right now are correct, and we see a 3% drop by next April in real estate prices, that means that $300,000 mortgage that I might go and get today is only going to be $291,000 next year. That means that's a $9,000 savings on the front end of the mortgage instead of a $4,700 savings on the back end of a mortgage. And honestly, I would rather take the savings now than the savings over a 30-year period. Also, that's not even taking into account that once I get a savings now, I can just make extra payments on that principal to make up for that $5,000 difference that I would get if I had a lower interest rate. Interest rate is not too much of a big deal for me. Now, if we're talking huge point differences and stuff like that, yeah, of course I want a lower interest rate. Now, I'm the type of person that would take a 30-year mortgage and make payments on it like it's a 15-year mortgage, saving me almost $78,000 on a $250,000 mortgage and paying it off in half the time. If you're still thinking about buying a house after everything I've just said, then there's 3 things that I would do if I was in your position. The first thing that I would do is to go back and watch a video that I released called 5 Mistakes That First-Time Homebuyers Make. Now, if you're not a first-time homebuyer, go ahead and watch the video anyway. It's a good refresher on 5 things to do before buying a home. The second thing I would do is to make a commitment to yourself to stay in that home for a longer period of time. Now, some people think that a long period of time is 5 years, but I would make a commitment of at least 10 years. Now, if you can't stay in that house for that full 10-year period, then see if you can rent it out for the remaining 10 years to at least cover your mortgage and maybe put some extra cash in your pocket every month to cover any maintenance issues. The third and most important thing that I would do is to put more of a down payment into buying the house. And we're talking at least 10 to 15%, 15% being better than 10. And this is the reason why. In case we start to see real estate prices really drop, I'm talking about 5% or more, you're still going to be in a really good equity position in case you need to sell the house sooner than later. If you like what you've seen here today, then subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we'll see you next week.